I'm Cynthia James, and this network is about changing lives one woman at a time. So welcome to Women Awakening. I'm your host, Cynthia James, and I'm very excited to be with you and to get to introduce you to women that fire me up, that inspire me, that allow me to absolutely understand that women are on the planet in this moment because we are essential and necessary to change this planet. So I want you to know that we are on Spotify, iTunes, iHeart, Amazon, YouTube. Sign up, subscribe. Every week you will meet extraordinary women. So let me tell you, this is my first time interviewing two women that I happen to love. So let me just tell you. So first, Ashley is the owner of Nexus Community Fitness and Performance Training in Colorado Springs. In fact, she's the co-owner, right? She's also a leadership consultant currently working with Keller Williams and running a business and training future leaders, and being a mother isn't enough. She is actually a dancer, a professional dancer with Letitia Hardy Dance Company, and she serves as their team captain. And she's married to her beloved, Marielle, who I will introduce you to in just a moment. So what's really interesting about this is that they decided to open this gym because they're really committed to acceptance and diversity, right? And Ashley trains all of the Letitia Hardy dancers in the gym as well, because then she gets to pave the way for dance strength and training for female dancers. Marielle was born and raised in Colorado and is a licensed professional engineer in the state of Colorado. Also a CrossFit level 1 trainer, as well as an ACE certified group fitness instructor. They met, I believe, in high school, and then they started dating, after college. But what's incredible about both of them is that they both have extensive experience in and passion, I might add, for health and fitness. And they wanted to have a gym, a facility that is founded in inclusivity, diversity, and authenticity. So, ladies, welcome. I am so grateful that you are here. So I guess let me start with you, Ashley, because I'm wondering if you're sleeping.
I get that question a lot.
I'm sure you do. So you are a consultant. Tell us a little bit about your background, how you grew up.
Sure. So I grew up in a big family of 7 in Denver. And, my father was in real estate all through my childhood, right? And so I guess my introduction into real estate was through there. But childhood was exciteful, lots of dance, but also filled with lots of interesting experiences. My oldest brother ended up passing away when I was 18, which definitely shaped a lot of who I wanted to be in the world, especially being young, just going to college and having that experience. I was like, hey, life is short and I'm entering college and I better figure out what I want to do right now because I don't know what my path is going to look like. So entering college, studying sociology, psychology, and then I have many certificates in leadership. And so going through my community, getting to know people, entering different spheres, all while still doing dance and fitness. And so ultimately now, I have my consulting firm as well as this huge passion for dance and fitness. And I was like, how can we combine these? And so here we are.
Yeah, that's awesome. So Marielle, tell us a little bit about how you grew up.
How I grew up. I feel like I had a beautiful childhood, very involved in sports and activities and friends, and really just learning was given a lot of opportunities to figure out what I was passionate about and what I enjoyed doing. I guess the other side of that also, though, has been something that I've been working through my entire life of kind of, as you can tell, I'm not a traditional woman here. And so kind of not always feeling like I belonged or at home in this body or things like that. So kind of the dichotomy of like having all these opportunities and making friends but still also sometimes just not feeling like I fit in, which also really played into growing up of always striving to be the best in things that I did. And I'm really sure how to like unpack all of that in this moment, where it really
it's powerful. And what I'm grateful about is that you're expressing this, because I know there are people in this audience who've had similar experiences, on one level or another, not belonging, not thinking they fit in the body in which they were given. How do they express themselves? So I love that you're bringing that. And I love that you've taken ownership of who you are walking this earth in this body. So the two of you met in high school and you were friends, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So now, after college, when did this quantum leap happen?
It was kind of, it was serendipitous, I would say. I was driving down to Colorado Springs on Halloween, and I was going to see some friends, and she messaged me saying, "Hey, I'm having this Halloween party." She always invited me to all of her parties all the time, and I was like, "Thank you, I appreciate the invitation. I live in Fort Collins, you live in Colorado Springs. I hope you have a great party. I'm not going to make a 3-hour trip to come to your party." But in this moment, I was down in the Springs. And so I stopped in and we reconnected. And she told me that she was in this professional dance group that rehearsed in Denver, where I was currently living. So she would go up every weekend. And so I was like, whenever you're around, message me and we'll go grab dinner or something. And that's all she wrote.
Yes. Well, I can understand that. And so for you, Ashley, did you know you had a crush on Marielle or had feelings? What was it?
Yeah, I knew instantly. Just because Marielle and I had shared a lot in high school, with same experiences or going through similar things, or both ultimately feeling like we didn't really belong. And so this friendship was always something that was very important to me. And when we started to reconnect, I was like, I want it to be more. And definitely was the first one to jump at that and make that leap. And so over a sushi dinner, I was like, what are we doing? And Marielle, of course, like, you're my friend. And I'm like, I want to be more than friends. So then we went forward with that. Yeah, Marielle was like, I had no idea. And I was like, really? And so we just ended up having a lot of conversations pretty quickly. And given the fact that we were younger, pretty important, big decision-making conversations. And it became very clear in several months that like we wanted to do life together and we were in it for the long haul.
Yeah. Well, I've had an opportunity to spend time with both of you on a lot of different occasions, and it's quite beautiful to see how tangible the love is. And before we get to the studio, I want to talk about that you are also a mother. And that meant that Marielle wasn't just hooking up with you. Marielle was hooking up with your son. And how was that for the two of you?
I had no doubt. One thing that Marielle said to me was most of her life, she wanted to manifest finding a partner that already had a child. And I was like, here I am. So I was like, look at that. And Jay was 1 at the time. And so I had no fear around him growing up with multiple parents. I mean, his father and I stayed very close. We knew exactly what we wanted our families to look like. We both needed to meet the other person's partner and like approve of them, right, so to speak. So co-parenting was already really, really going well. And so for Marielle to step into this role, especially while Jay was so young, I was like, he's not going to remember anything different except the 3 of us. And then it became the 4 of us soon after when my ex remarried. And so yeah, I mean, I know Marielle was a little afraid, but also stepped very powerfully into parenting and then had me on the side be like, you got this, here's what we do.
Yeah. So, Marielle, I mean, from the single life to the family life, what was the transition like?
It was interesting. I mean, it's funny because I have said that like I definitely manifested a partner that already had a kid, because I did want a child, and I had stated before not feeling really at home in this body and not really feeling like carrying a child, right? So it's either like adoption or finding somebody who's already kind of walks that path. But I always joked that like I didn't expect it to happen so fast. Didn't expect to find her so young, but it just felt right and easy and relatively seamless, honestly, because going from the single life to family life, it didn't really feel like much of a jump, honestly. It just felt like these are my people.
Well, that's pretty amazing too, because you're in your 20s when all this is occurring, when the love and everything is. And so I guess I want to say to you, I've had people over the years, women who've come into counsel with me who have thought they were heterosexual and then fell in love with the woman and didn't know what to do with it, because it was so deep and so profound. And so for you, Ashley, what did you get to the point where you were like, love is love is love, love is love? I mean, is that what it was?
Yeah, I mean, I think I've always had like an open heart, open mind. And I just remember, coming from a pretty religious background, being like, I don't internally agree with that teaching, or that doesn't feel right to me. And so when I went to school, like college, I literally say transformed my life because I was able to study things that aren't normally taught. And so this wider view of making sense of the things that I already felt, especially around fluidity and sexual fluidity and gender fluidity. And so I was like, cool, you can literally just pick a person to do life with, whether you believe that's choice or not. I want to pick a person regardless of skin color or eye color, for that matter, or body parts. I want to fall in love with a person. And so I was just open to whatever the world was going to bring me. And literally within like a month, Marielle was presented in my life. And I was like, here's my person. And I fell in love with a person. And I was 100% okay with that being a woman because I just loved a person.
Yeah, I so love that. And I really think that is such an incredible segue into your community that you two are building, because you are asking people to come in as they are and to get healthy and to get stronger. And so Marielle, tell us, Nexus, I know it's been a dream for a long time. Was it an easy manifestation?
That's a complicated question, I feel like. I mean, you, Cynthia, are familiar with the steps taken leading up to it, and kind of the trials going into it. But I feel like the manifestation of this gym, this location at this time, really just fell into our laps. I mean, it was so synchronistic of like, especially partnering with Ashley's dance studio. They found this building. She wanted half of it. She was like, the other half would be perfect for your gym. I mean, it all just unraveled so beautifully for us to then have that partnership with them that we dreamed of as well. So, I mean, everything, yeah, unfolded quickly and easily, and it was amazing.
Yeah. Well, and I love that. And so both of you, have certifications for training people, correct? Right. And then Ashley, you are working with dancers as well. And so, how do you manage the administration of this thing called Nexus?
That is Ashley right there. She is the Nexus queen.
Yes. So first of all, Nexus stands for connection, right? We believe that you can have connections of all different levels and all different kinds, but first you need to have connection with your body. And you get to create what that looks like. And so through our gym, we have lots of different styles and types and people that walk all kinds of different paths. And so within delivering what Nexus is outside of just this dance training, which is really my specialty, what Nexus does is injury prevention, education, group fitness, and community, right? And so we really talk about Nexus on all kinds of different levels. Because if I'm talking to a dancer, I'm going to tell them about the dance program. But if we're talking to someone from the queer community, which has been very common and predominant in our gym, it's more about like feeling safe, or we don't label our bathrooms. Go use a bathroom, right? Like it's more of how do we bring inclusivity and diversity and love into the gym so people can first feel safe, and then they can look at fitness, awareness, injury prevention, and what they want to get out of their own connection with their own body and what that path looks like. And it will be different for every person.
Yeah, well, that's beautiful. And then you also handle the administration for Nexus, right? And then you also support, the dance company as well as a team leader.
Yeah, I do. And I want to say, it all runs so smoothly, but for any of us entrepreneurs out there, that you lose sleep and it's a lot more work than you could ever imagine. But Marielle and I are so grateful for the people that support us. Oh my gosh. And just the location of our gym, the people that are on that strip even, and then having the dance studio right next door, we know it's just so full of love and acceptance all the time. We just have to get the message out there.
Yeah. And so, Marielle, do you feel like Nexus is it has the potentiality of being a model for what these kinds of gyms and places could look like?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if there's anything that we learned through this pandemic, right, is that just need for human connection and interaction. So we've seen tons of people who bought home gym equipment thinking they're gonna get ripped through this quarantine, right? What ended up happening is then they're just isolated and nothing happened, and they're coming back into our gym anyways and looking for people and connection, and also being like kind of a lighthouse for that queer community, because normal public gyms are, as Ashley mentioned, the bathrooms don't feel safe. There's mirrors everywhere. Everyone's like looking around, checking each other out. Like, we don't have mirrors. We're there to connect, get fit, like make some friends, take care of each other physically, mentally, emotionally, have conversations. I mean, really, we're just trying to create a new model, a new kind of gym that's not just come in, put your headphones in, do some bicep curls, run a little bit and then leave.
Of which I've been to many of those gyms.
Right.
So I want to talk about the fact that you both are busy. You both have big careers. You have the parenting. You have the gym. do you have a spiritual connection that helps you stay grounded?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, there's no way I think this would be possible if we didn't have something that grounded us, right? Some type of higher power. But I mean, for me, we and Marielle, we do daily practices in the morning, whether that's a meditation or breathing throughout the day can be very helpful as well. But I do tarot reading. And I'm very connected to my deck, and even actually in different avenues have brought that into the gym or into the studio, the dance studio, because other people are like, how do you do this? Because you're like Superwoman, you're doing it all. Like, how do you do this? And what's actually possible when you are grounded, you will be amazed with what you can actually do with like a 15-hour day. And so I definitely think what we're doing would not be possible if we did not have some type of spiritual connection.
And for you, Marielle?
Oh, for sure. I mean, she touched on a lot of it. Like she said, we both have a morning practice that we do and really we're both air signs, so we need a lot of grounding. Yeah. So yeah, yep, join the air party. I also have been doing tarot readings, and just throughout the day, if ever feeling frantic, calling in my guides, calling in angels, asking for help, especially when there's chaotic energy in the gym. We're not always going to attract the best type, kind of energy people. So kind of recognizing that and asking our guides to, protect us, asking their guides for the highest and best for them. I mean, really it's not just all physical plane. So kind of just being more aware of what's really going on in all realms here.
Well, I love that. And I wish I had been as smart as you are when I was your age. It took me a little longer to find my way to being anchored. So I love what you're doing. And I would love for you to tell people how they can reach you, how they can find out about your gym. I mean, I realize you're located in Colorado, but I think there's a bigger something here. So how do people find you?
Sure. So our website is actually Nexus Community Fitness and Performance Training. However, Instagram, Facebook, most of our social medias are described as the Nexus community, because the end goal of connection is community, right? Nexus is building community in any and all forms. And so any of our social platforms is the Nexus community. And on any of those pages, there's a contact us button, and you literally can just find your way in, whether that's looking for personal training or, community classes, or I do mindset coaching along with, how can we help our bodies and build connection with our bodies if we don't also do the same with our minds. So there's a lot of different things that we do in our gym, because when people are really coming in, what we have found is whether they have an injury and they're like, I can't work out. We're like, actually, you can. No one has just taken the time to actually listen and get to know you and put a personal package together for you, right? Like that's something we do for most of our athletes, even if they're not signed up for personal training. But we bring them in and are able to design this whole thing to help them feel heard. And then that also releases energy, right? Or beliefs that they've been holding on to that then no longer serve them. So when Marielle's talking about us calling in angels or clearing our space, quite often it's because people release a lot while they work out. Oh my gosh, yeah, they do. And so creating that space for anyone, we welcome you. We welcome you all.
Oh, it's so awesome. Well, I asked the same last question of every guest. So, Marielle, I'm going to start with you. What is the one, this program is called Women Awakening. What is the one thing you want women to know about the importance of their awakening?
Oh boy. What a question. I think, so it's interesting because I've actually had many conversations about this lately of, it seems like a lot of people in this world have been kind of walking around in a fog, right? It's, you wake up, you go to work, you go to your kid's baseball game, you come home, you have dinner, you go to bed, you get up, you do it again. And it's just like mundane, I guess. And I think having this awakening and awareness, like there's no going back. And yeah, sometimes it's harder, but being able to see more clearly what's happening, and there's more possibilities, more opportunities to feel fulfilled and connected, and like really just connected. That's really what it feels like.
Mhm.
And you know me, I don't use the term feel very much. I say I think a lot, but this one feels like connection, and it's amazing.
It's beautiful. And for you, Ashley, what's the one thing women should know?
I want to let you all know that awakening can be uncomfortable. And that's 100% normal and okay. We don't just wake up one day and we're like, we got this, right? Like when we level up our lives, it can seem uncomfortable. However, do not confuse uncomfortable with fear and risk or danger. It's okay to stand in the uncomfortable to level up your life, or drop a couple balls and then reinstore integrity there, and then pick up a piece here, because you are always powerful, even if there's a little bit of a mess. And so really ground yourself in the uncomfortable, but push through it. The uncomfortable is where the unknown is, and that is where you get to decide your future and what you want it to look like.
Oh, that is so wonderful. Well, I want to tell you too that I'm so honored to walk the path with you, to see who you are becoming, to see what you are creating, to sense into and feel your extraordinary commitment to community and connection. So I will be watching to see the next iteration, because I know there will be one. And thank you so much for being here.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us.
Yes, absolutely. Pleasure.
So ladies, like I said, we do this every week. This is what I want you to know. You are incredible. You are original, powerful, dynamic, mighty, and magnificent. There's not another you on this planet. It is so important for you to remember that you belong, to remember that you're essential, to remember that you have a voice and you're here to bring it. I hope that you will come back every week and connect to the women that I get to interview, because they are not exceptions. They're examples of possibility to show you that you too can step through the portal of your greatness.